Okay, we're live. So I'm gonna be prepared. What I tell people is preparation is 90% of ceremony. But was I prepared? No. So I'm gonna light it up. This bowl has been around a long time, and I thought it was very beautiful. I had it in the store. I bought some pottery from this Navajo man, or I forgot what this is from. I believe it's, anyway, I said, well, let's use it. I don't read, there was this great article that says, when I'm old, I shall wear purple. It's like, why are you saving everything? Why don't you use what you have? Like all my mother's china and silverware, and they save it for our relatives, but then the relatives don't want it, they want the money. So we're going to light a little sage to bring me present, bring my sister Ashley present. And then sweetgrass, we use this once you remove the negative, you call in spirit with the sweetgrass.
I love sweetgrass so much.
Yes. So we call in the sweetness, the highest in this circle. And we pray that your will flow through us tonight, that you prepare us for a ceremony, this beautiful time of season of the planting time. And we pray that your will be manifest through my words and through our presence here tonight to help us prepare to be open to receive the gifts of the East, of the child. And the Grovant way of saying aho is Adonanitha. Adonanitha. Say that. Adonanitha.
Adonanita.
Adonanitha. So I'm Patrick. I am Patrick. In my drum circles, I would have the talking stick. Could be anything. Be a I am Patrick, and then you reflect back. You are Patrick. So it's like not only speaking, but feeling like you're heard. It's like playing your flutes in canyon land where the voice bounces off the walls and comes back as an echo. It's like when I used to do shows, I started Cedar Mountain Drums on a wing and a prayer with 21% credit card borrowing. Say, when you don't have any money, nobody wants to give it to you. Now that I have it, everybody wants to give it to me. So there's a natural law that says I had a great business coach. First of all, I asked them what they thought about me being in the drum business. They said, I think you're crazy as hell. So me being the fool, I said, well, Spirit told me to follow the drums. So I don't want to be on my deathbed saying, where did I betray myself? So the guidance was to follow your heart. Your heart always knows what to do and what connects you with your hands and your heart are connected. That's my play teacher used to say, clasp your hands. Okay, you guys clasp your hands. Now clasp them the other way.
But what? There we go.
So that's when life brings you to your knees, you might find it's a great place to pray. So
Mm.
alcoholics know that, addicts. My friend Ashley here is like my daughter. She's a fire sign, and I believe Raven's is a Libra. Is that
Yeah, air.
Libra? So I'm
Mm.
double water and moon in Capricorn.
Mm.
So that's the old goat. So I was thinking about getting some goats out there at Bear Creek because they take care of all the underbrush. If you don't want a forest fire, you just turn the goats loose, and they get rid of all that fodder that feeds fires.
Mhm.
So natives would start fires. We don't fight fires, but in our language, we fight everything. She lost her battle with cancer, like, or the war on poverty. It has to be a war. So if we change our language, we change our life. So when the Ruiz books, the Four Agreements, it says, be impeccable in your word. It's one of the four agreements. Be impeccable in your word. Say, I'm angry. Not, it makes me so mad. Say, what the fuck is it? So if we substitute I for it, I used to say it's got a first part, it's shit. So that's uh, Dirty Mary or the excrement. They're what we take in, what we digest, what we hold for ourselves, and what we eliminate. That's the process of eating. And in Gestalt therapy, they say you can watch somebody eat their dinner and tell you how they live their lives.
Mm.
In therapy, I say, what are you eating and what's eating you? So I have a younger brother with colon cancer, and his wife is a doctor. They're split up because she's trying to get him to go to the church to cure himself from pot smoking.
Oh my goodness.
So uh, I would say there are no good or bad drugs. There's only abuse, using or abusing. How do we use the sacred? Is it medicine is what you use. Like Raven bought a lot of medicine today. My God, she bought two drums, two painted drums, a hummingbird and a crow. And she does a sweat lodge. She does a Lakota sweat lodge. Well, I'll do a Celtic sweat lodge.
Mm.
Uh, I believe that, what is that old song? I believe for every drop of rain that falls, a flower grows. So the waters of the fall, I'm a water sign. So I was talking to uh, living my life as improv. I don't have any writers. When I teach these classes, I say, I already know everything I know. And I've got two amazing women here that say I know a little bit about a lot of things. So I'm educated. but the world's full of educated fools. So in the north is the winter, and that's the dream. That's the they call it, some in Celtic, they call that the oak. The oak tree sits in the north. The oak is the oak king. And the oak king is the home of the green man. And all the fables of Kokopelli and Pan and Bacchus. And the story of the giver of life, the bringer of the seeds, Johnny Appleseed, the one who showers his seeds. And this is the planting time because we're moving into the spring. And I was reading my great book, Living in Gratitude, which is a book that I use. The last AA meeting I chaired was an 11th step meditation meeting. So we had a 5-minute meditation, a 15-minute meditation. So I would have people practice the 4-7-8 breath, which is bring in 4, hold for 7, and spread it out for 8. So it's like, I take some for me, I take in for me first. I hold some for me and I spread it around. So if you get up in your breathing from your chest, it's not like belly breathing. So if you breathe from your chi, which is your center of gravity, which is about 2 inches below your belly button, it's in Mama's belly. We had 3 women in the store, and every morning I go out in the hot tub and I say, Creator, who are you going to send me today? And the Spirit will send me the right people or the left people. So it's learning how to keep a journal was what my sponsor did. He says, do a thorough written inventory of yourself. That's step in the 12 steps of recovery. The first step is I'm powerless over people, places, and things. My life is unmanageable. That's the only step you can take perfectly. The unmanageable life. So as long as I think I can run my life, I had to deflate the false God, which is the false pride. Because the 2 sides of what they say in recovery, there's 2 sources, 2 wounds that'll get you drunk quicker than anything. Resentments and self-pity. Number 1 offender is resending, resentments. You're resending negative energy. You're caught in the loop. So if I say, I don't want anybody to think of white elephants the whole evening. So you tell a child what you don't want them to do. It's like training a dog. You don't have to train animals, you have to train people. So, well, be impeccable in your word. Be impeccable in your word. So eliminate words like try. Crying is lying. I will. I will, and I will. That's okay. The first step's the only one, and the rest of them are just working towards, doing the best I can each day. So, second step's come to believe that a power greater than yourself can restore you to sanity. So being restored to sanity, what is sanity? So
No, oh, sorry, go ahead.
we'll answer that. What is sanity?
I know nothing. Tell me.
Another definition of sane is balance, is balanced.
Okay.
So you're Isis. So the Isis holds the scales of your karma. How many lifetimes have you lived up until now? How many times have you gone through the same karma? And how can we break through? That's the Gospel of Thomas, which is
Mm.
what Jesus really taught in the lost Gospels that I read, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. I got that big fly flying around here all day, it's driving me crazy. I had some friends send me a birthday card that says, 50 million flies can't be wrong. And I opened it up and it says, eat shit. So the Heokas used to eat shit. They'd say, yum, this is delicious. So the contrary is the trickster of the South. So in the South, we have the lover. The lover is the archetype of the male of your father, the lover. It's Kokopelli. That's the humpback flute player that could suck his own cock. That's why he was so, had a humpback. And he was having all these orgasms, and all these women were saying, wow, what is that beautiful music? So, so, so in my men's group, we used to have a talking dick rather than a talking stick. We'd pass
Oh.
the dick around. And it was about how men are shamed by being men, just for how men carry a lot of shame.
Mm.
Shame binds you. I was listening to Pia Melody because I went to grad school and got a master's in counseling. I got an MA, Master of the Arts, not MSW, which is science. So how do we, that left brain, right brain, you just turn red.
I know. This car is parking in front of me.
Oh, I was saying, oh my goodness, lady red.
Mm.
That's funny. Uh, so I say each one of these classes kind of stands alone. And they say you got to give it away, but if I give it away free, people don't think it's worth anything. So
Mm.
it's funny that if I say I'm going to do a workshop, it's going to be $5,000 a piece, and people really invest in that, and they say where your treasures are, that's where your heart is. So in our last classes, Raven, we had actually make a list of the 5 things that she held sacred, or the
Mhm.
10 things that she held sacred. Just list them, like, what is holy to you? What is Wakan? Natives say we are Wakan. We're spiritual beings in a human experience. We're not born
Mm.
with sin. We're holy. So that's nature, that's mother. We all come from the mother. And to the mother we return.
Mhm.
The doulas, the birth mothers, the midwives. So when I first moved out here, I was going to give it to Ashley, but I've always written ever since my sponsor had me write my fifth step. We were doing a thorough and fearless inventory of me because I was projecting all my stuff on everybody else. And he says, stay out of relationships for a year and work on your inventory. So I brought him back this 76-page dissertation I did on my inventory, and he read it, and he says, this is no inventory, you're beating yourself up. He says, an inventory is these are my pluses and these are my minuses. What are your gifts? It was easy for me to see my flaws, but for me to see my gifts, I don't have any gifts. What are you talking about? I didn't see them, but he did. He says, that's why we say we love the unlovable in AA. It's the most expensive club in the world, but you pay your dues before you get there. So alcoholism is the only disease with a fun face. So, and whatever your addiction is, it's the first thing, well, I'm not an addict. Yeah, right. Well, what is an addict? That's someone who abuses rather than uses. Like I knew a lot of women that used heroin. They weren't addicted to it, they used it. Heroin used to be sold in the drugstore because it's a painkiller. And you use it if you're in pain. The drugs have a use, but they come from a poppy seed. All the medicine comes from plants. So that's mama. They're not in some lab in China with all the viruses, but it seems that things are so far out of balance. My poor brother is 2 years older than me, and he's another Scorpio. Me and my brother were both Scorpios. My stepmom that raised me was a Scorpio, and my two sisters, one was Scorpio. So we had a lot of water in our family, a lot of sexual energy, which is spiritual energy washing through the second chakra. That's why the shaman in cave paintings would have these huge erections. Because when the Kundalini comes washing through your chakras, it blows everything wide open. And so that's why little boys are afraid to get a hard on, you know. It's like they're really embarrassed about having a wiener. All the shame that men feel. So I learned a lot from two spirits. Some of my great teachers were gay men who taught men how to access the feminine energies, which is, it takes a gay woman to tell women how to access the male energies. So those are in the native tradition, they have different names for them. The Brujes, or the two spirits, they're bridges. Just like your left hemisphere and your right hemisphere. Like I watch people's eyes when they're talking, and I say, what do you like about yourself, Ashley? And I watch her eyes. Does she look down or does she look up? Or does she? What else do you like about yourself, Ashley? So, and if I ask, what don't you like about yourself, Ashley? So it's about balance. It's about seeing the world as it is, not how you want it to be. That's the Buddha's path. It's like whatever like Raven was sent to me by a spirit, and she felt it, and I felt she was coming. That's the way
Mm.
my wife. I've been asking everybody that I asked my men's group last night. They're I'm the oldest one in the group, and they're all a mess. They can't seem to get on for group on the Zoom. So we didn't have our men's group. I've been with those men for 35 years, the same guys. So we know each other's stories. We've been through marriages, divorces, and deaths. And so if you got people that know who you are, you got friends. Uh, usually you have your family of origin that you choose when you're up there in the spirit world. So, and
Mm.
every night we die, and every morning we have the opportunity to wake up with new eyes. This morning I went out in the hot tub, and I'm kind of grieving the the winter. The winter is. Uh, I had a power outage last week or this week sometime. It, uh, I don't have any trees or limbs. I've pretty much limbed all my trees, but the power companies haven't done anything with the infrastructure. I still have telephone lines from when I bought this place in the 80s, and they haven't fixed anything. They haven't improved anything. So out there at Bear Creek, they bury the cables so there's no telephone lines. And wow. So I have that place out there. My little boy loves to go out there because it's got a creek you can drink right out of, and it's got medicine all over that land. We've got
Mm.
medicine wheel garden out there where we planted the corn, the bean, and the squash, the three sisters.
Mm.
You learn how to commune with the divas of the plant, and the women know this. They know where the water is. They know place. So
Mm.
I was doing shows for Lynn Andrews Productions down in San Francisco, and 250 women would come to Joshua Tree, California, and at the Institute of Mental Physics, which is a Frank Lloyd Wright designed uh, spiritual community. And I was there for about 12 years. Every year I'd go down and do the Lynn Andrews gathering, and I would sell more drums in one weekend than I would almost all year every place else. So I taught them how to make drums. They asked me if I'd do a drum making, so we had 250 drums we were making, 15-inch elk, because it was the Whistling Elk clan. And I've got many stories I could tell about, because and they hired me to come down. I had 6 assistants that came with me because I couldn't be over 250 people. So we had a lot of assistants that I had taught how to make drums. And we all went down there together. And I learned so much from women down there. Lynn Andrews was, I thought she was the funniest thing in the world, but she helped a whole lot of women. Uh, and I met a lot of wonderful women down there. Me being a double Scorpio, I was a token male in this group.
Mhm.
It's like being in the girls' school, like the only guy in the girls' school.
Mhm.
It's So I've got lots of stories to tell, and my dad was a storyteller. I never considered myself a storyteller, but my dad could sit down. I'd have all my buddies come over. I thought they were coming to see me, and they'd be out by the pool listening to my father tell stories. And he could mesmerize with his stories. And I was taught how to hunt in West Virginia by my grandpa. And my grandpa bought me a 410 shotgun and told me, he says, son, you never shoot anything you're not going to eat. And he says, he told me the rules of carrying that gun. Of course, me being 11, 12 years old, I was crazy. We were shooting BBs at each other and didn't have any sense. So he'd take me hunting and he'd say, now you sit under that tree and be real still. Well, you can't tell an 11-year-old boy to sit still. It's like I was wiggling and squirming and I didn't see anything, and he'd come back with 6 squirrels and he was walking. And he was hunting with a .22. And he'd shoot them in the head. He says, don't shoot them with a shotgun, you got to pick all the lead out of the meat. So he was a hunter, and he says, he taught me how to see with soft eyes. He says a lot of white people will stare at you, and they'll want to, if you don't look at them, not stare at them, he says that's disrespectful. You don't look at somebody, that's like disrespectful, especially if they're praying. You never respect as you give people their space. The sacred grows in silence. It's lynx medicine. The lynx is the knower of knowledge. Lynx's medicine is silence. And that's one of the things I miss about the winters, because it's the dream time. We're talking about the Umbatsmen and the Mayans and how there's such great wisdom in all the tribes, the tribal way. And the Mingo people, which is my tribe, were from Ohio and Kentucky and West Virginia. Daniel Boone's sidekick was a Mingo Indian. So the Mingos were part of the Iroquois Great Confederacy, which is what our Constitution was formed from. It was based on the clan mothers of the East. And the clan mothers chose the chiefs. And the first way you was eliminated is if you wanted to be the chief. So where I come from, you carried your mother's name, not your father's name. So the grandmothers were the wise ones. That's a dangerous old woman. So that was, so my female teachers have been Clarissa Pinkel, the Estes, and Angelus Arian, who wrote The Fourfold Way. And she does the archetype of the woman, which is the warrior in the north, the visionary in the east, the healer in the south, and the teacher in the west. So the north is when you fall asleep tonight, you're in the north. It's called the Four Ridges of Life in the Grovant Way, the Adonanitha Way. It says there's levels that you first acknowledge the Supreme Being. It's too great for even us to put words to it, but there's something so great. And then there's layers, the angels and the archangels that come down. It's another way of explaining clairvoyance, which is raven medicine. That's the crow is law, the raven is magic. So crow is in the city, The crows greet me every morning. They come from the east they come from the west going to the east. So,
Mm.
and my teacher used to say, when you see a bird flying, see which direction it's flying, because they'll teach you something. But people are looking down so much they don't see the upside. So when I ask my friends how they're doing, they tell me how they're not doing. How you doing today? Not bad. What the
Mm.
hell is that? That's one of the four addictions, the addiction to what's not working. So rather than seeing your beauty, you're going to, I don't know what I want to be, but I know what I don't want to be. So uh, that's a wounded healer. Like I had to go down and lose everything I had, and I couldn't stay sober, and I was dying. And but for the grace of God, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I says I need help, and I'm willing to go to any damn length to get it. And then the spirits heard me. Because I don't know how many people say, "Oh yeah, when's the next sweat lodge? I can't make this one." They always want the next one. That's called procrastination. It's but my teachers have been uh, Michael Meade, James Hillman, Robert Bly, Robert Moore. Those are men that say if you're the 60s and 70s produced a bunch of soft men. They weren't no warriors anymore. That men that know how to process because they were raised by their mother. And where's the father? Where's the father in that equation? Well, I know the father of Frankie, and I was asking my sister Ashley, I said, who's the male in the family, you or Casey? Which one's which? He's got more feminine energy, and Ashley's got that masculine Aries energy. But they both love that little one, and I could speak for Ashley. Uh, she's been through all the classes, and she's got them on my website, so you can look at the past classes. But it's like the solstice is tomorrow, and I usually do a sweat lodge, and I have a Celtic lodge out at Bear Creek, and when I have enough people, we'll go back in that lodge, but on each direction, like we'd be doing the east door, because the east is the sun, the light, the new beginnings. The east and the feminine is the visionary. So what do you want to manifest for yourself? It's like also the fire is the element of the east. So that's good Aries. Aries are fiery. They know how to start things. So my friend Ashley, she didn't want to leave her little boy at some babysitter she didn't know, but so she started a children's daycare, took it over, and said, "I want that job to be safe." She's the rainbow woman. So she wants to inspire Frankie and take him to OMSI and buy him dinosaurs. But his dad takes him out to buy the food for the dinosaurs. So Frankie is the teacher of play. So if you want to know how to play, I have a foot massager over there in Frankie. It's inventing this game where he puts the ping pong ball on the vibrator and it pops out, and he just has more fun with that. Play is defined as having no agenda. There's a great book called Homo Ludens, And homo ludens means how does play cut across all cultures and all domains, the animal realm, that the animals love to play. Cats play a little different than dogs do. It's like dogs like to run and get the ball and bring it back to you, and they're retrievers and herders. And my grandpa always had a rat terrier to keep the rats out of the barn because they're deaf on rats much more than cats are. So back when I was a kid, he says animals are our helpers. We keep them around, but they've inbred especially the horses. Like most of my relatives come from eastern Kentucky, and that's the bluegrass state. I was a Kentucky colonel, and that's where Colonel Sanders, Kentucky Fried Chicken. I used to go to that place when it was before it got famous. But they had a way of cooking chicken. It's just melt in your mouth. And I was raised in the bluegrass state. I went to military school at Kentucky Military Institute, and that was a prep school for putting you in the Army. And thank goodness I got my girlfriend pregnant because I was going to this little Baptist college, and I got exempt from going to Vietnam like my brother. And so I always considered I'm the lover and he's the warrior. So in the male archetype, you have in the north you have the king. So the king builds a walled garden where things can flourish. That would be Camelot. That would be the whole story of is it a good king or is it an evil king? You know. So the king is the west. The king is well in the north. The king is the north. The king is good God, good orderly direction, which means am I praying for strength or for ease and grace? So if I pray for strength, I'll get a lot of tests. So I'll learn to pray for ease and grace, not strength, because Spirit's will flows freely like the water. So water teaches us much. It teaches us reflection. If you go to a lake, that's the whole story of Oedipus. Oedipus was the one that went down to the lake and looked in the lake and saw his own beauty. But the lake thought that he saw the beauty in the lake. So all the other animals and creatures in the forest were jealous because the lake was getting all the attention of the little boy. So that idea, you got to love yourself. It's like a house of mirrors. I hate in you the qualities I hate in me. So, but if you can see the beauty in people, it's easy to see the beast because the beast is in me. Like Mandy, my wife, she called her ex the beast. And I said, am I sure I want to marry a woman that had an ex called the beast? Because does that mean I'm going to become the beast? So I am the beast and I am the beauty. So that's the multifaceted. We're not a parts department. Well, a part of me wants this and a part of me wants that. Like, no, you're just one. You look in that mirror and you don't see parts unless you go to a house of mirrors. And then you see your reflection wherever you go. And that's like life. Clarissa tells this beautiful story about there used to be just one So when we looked up, we saw each other. So we loved each other because we were just aspects of each other. I love in you the qualities I love in me. So if you needed food, I would never want to take it away from you. I'd feed you. It's what they do with the elder eagles when they lose their beaks. The children take care of the elders until they can grow a new beak. So
Mm.
in nature, there's perfect intelligence. So if you and Mandy taught me how to keep a plant alive. So I've got that spider plant. It's not a hard plant to keep alive, but you got to water them. So water signs don't know what water is. Fire signs don't know what fire is. Air signs, you are the air. So it's hard for you to find your own element. You can see it in other people. So
Mm.
when I see your beauty, I can see your beast and your beauty. But if you feed the white wolf, that means you're feeding your gratitude, not your defects. There's no defect anyway. You're not defective. You're perfect just the way you are. But it's just healing and being with the elders, the crones, and the wise men, and the wizards. So Robert Moore is the king in the north, the warrior in the east, the lover in the south, the the magician in the west. So the raven is in the west, that's water. So out at Bear Creek, we've got ravens that come. Every time we pour a sweat lodge, the ravens come. They start pecking on my smokestack because I got an old Elmira wood cook stove out there and built a man cave. A bunch of guys and I built a shop of 3,200 square feet. And it's where I can store my hides and my hoops and teach people to make drums, teach them to have the children out there. We've had men and their fathers bring your son, father-son sweats. So it's about healing the male wound, so we're not wounded little boys looking for mother. So Why Hillman and Mead taught me how to bring that sexual energy and ascend it up into spiritual energy. It's like, because that's all it is spiritual energy. So it's as you get older, that libido kind of comes up to all your other chakras, especially if you're in your body. So that's why I say body work is the deepest work you can do, structural integration. So I had a Cheyenne man that I had him living in my basement. He had a massage practice called Loving Hands Massage. And he would go into trance and massage me, and he says, "Your little boy's hiding." And so he taught me how to go from this posture to this posture, to stand up with my chest out rather than cowering down, protecting myself.
Mm.
The sacred doesn't need protecting. The sacred, nothing real is ever threatened. So if you get to what's authentic in you, there's no fear. Fear is illusion. That's fear is your compass. It's what the rich told me, or taught me. They said most people let fear make decisions for them, but I stopped doing that because they say if you do what you're most afraid of, it makes what you're second most afraid of a lot easier. But procrastination is keep putting off, keep procrastinating. I'll do it later, I'll do it later. Well, there is no later. That's the spell that's put on you, the illusion of time. Time is art. So how are you creating? Like this week I created some drums over there. And I cut out some drum kits. So here I am, 84 years old, young, and going on 85. I say, how long are you going to live? Well, my grandma over there lived 101, so I like that figure. But it's not quantity, it's quality. So if Spirit's giving you gifts, like Raven's got a lot of magic, and Ashley, my God, she's working at Nike. And I did a workshop for the design management people, and they started a drum circle at Nike. It was the hottest thing in the world. And all the designers and right brain aspect people love to play, and we're open to the magic. And the trickle down economics doesn't work, and they've got top secrets in the corporate boardrooms of like Adidas might come out with a better shoe, so we better keep the secrets. And in recovery, they say we're only as sick as our secrets. So I've been rambling off at the mouth for 30 minutes. I wanted to give my sister Ashley, my goodness, one of the Pensionisms I've learned is expectations are planned resentments. So I was down there, I had Raven and another woman and her daughter, her name, what was her name? Little Ali.
Ari.
Ari, 8 years old. And we became buddies because she was a Taurus. And so I said, well, I'm water and you're earth. So you're stubborn. A Taurus can be bullheaded. You know, a Taurus is, once they're your friends, but the Taurus is me, my. It's like, well, what about me? And Scorpio's other people's money, not my money. So Scorpio is the gateway to the higher self. But the air, the fire, the earth, the water, that's the 12 of my drum that I make. I don't know if I have a drum around here, but.
Can we grab it?
Yeah, just go get a drum. I was trying to draw one on the, because I use both of my hands when I write a journal, I left one page and then I write the next page. So that's going backwards. The natural flow of the, so this is a bear drum. So up here I have, this is the north. So we have the air, fire, earth, and water in each direction. Air, fire, earth, and water. Air, fire, earth, and water. Air, fire, earth, and water. There's 16. So when we go in the sweat lodge, we bring 28 stones. And we keep one in the fire. The 29th is for our ancestors. And out of Bear Creek, we're right on the slopes of Mount Adams, or Klickitat, as the natives call it, or Paho. It's the native name for Mount Adams, but it's a volcano. I did my Hamblecha on Mount Hood, which is the brother. So my East and Klickitat were friends. They were two brothers, but they both had a crush on St. Helens, which was the maiden Mount St. Helens was the maiden. So there was a natural bridge across. They call it the Bridge of the Gods up there at Cascade Locks. And the two brothers started fighting over the woman and destroyed the Bridge of the Gods. So there's many legends about the brothers, my brothers, my brother went off to Vietnam, and I was taking care of his wife, but checking on them, making sure they were okay. I was my brother's keeper. That's biblical stories of the two brothers. One's Zeus. Well, some of the Greek mythology is Zeus was the father of Persephone. And Persephone, but Zeus's brother was Set, and Set was the lord of the underworld. So he was Lucifer. He was the fallen angel, but he was the dark side. So the natives say, are you feeding the white wolf or the black wolf? So if you're feeding the black wolf, you're not feeding what is working, you're feeding what's not working. So those resentments got to be fed every day, because they don't have a life unless you feed them. So, what are you eating? Or I asked my brother, says, well, what are you eating and what's eating you? Because cancer is nothing more than what's eating you. It's resending negative energy and not being able to break it up, break it off. So I learned from Native people the difference between curing and healing. That was Frank Foolscrow that wrote that great book, Wisdom. He wrote several books. Foolscrow, Wisdom, and Power was the one that, where he says you can lure a person, like talking about fishing. I was a fisherman, so my religion was fly fishing, because I would fish with a barbless hook, because I would release them. I didn't go to catch, I went to fish. So I just love the waters that trout hang out in, because they're pristine. They only hang out in the clearest of streams. So out here, the natives have taught me that the salmon are the buffalo, that the salmon people, and they build these dams that block the salmon's return to. So all of the petroglyphs along the gorge were destroyed when they built the dams. Now there's a big push to do away with the dams, take them down. And that's part of the shift of, there's a crisis, but people don't do anything from a good idea, they do it from a crisis. So my uncle used to say, if there's no crisis, create one, because you learn a lot about fire, not from what your parents tell you about it, but by sticking your hand in the fire. You learn what hot is. But then if you do a fire walk, you learn that no, you are the fire. So we're in the East is the fire, the element of fire. It's passion. It's Zorba dancing naked on the beach. There's like a little 3-year like Frankie being out there and running around naked. Children, it's hard to keep clothes on them. They like to run around naked. So that's childlike. So me as an elder, I had to learn how to watch babies like Moshe Feldenkrais. He wrote a book called Awareness Through Movement. And I was watching Frankie when he goes from sitting down to rising up. He doesn't defy gravity. If you watch babies move, they're the natural movers. And they don't lift. They trust. Like I throw my little girl up in the air and catch her, and she just laughs. Some people are terrified of that, of losing control. So letting go absolutely is required. It's one of the prerequisites of recovery. You can't hold on to anything. Your sacred cows. What are your sacred cows? Well, I'll never let go of that. Say, well, what are you willing to let go of? Cut yourself some slack and don't try to do it perfectly. Just be happy with a gradual awakening, because it's not a spirit. Not many people have that white light experience of, ah, it's a gradual thing. Say, first you come, and then you come to, and then you come to believe. But it's in that order. You come to believe that, wow, of myself I'm powerless, but when I hook up, there ain't nothing I can't do. So it's music, drumming, the rhythm, vibration. Like in the Sweat Lodge we sing songs, but it's all on the heartbeats, you see. Or maybe some of the songs like the Lakotas. Wakan tanka, tonka eya, chewan kielo e. The natives say the spirits come in on the vibrations of the drum.
Mm.
So you are vibration. And how many people come in this door and say, I want one of those real low drums? And say, were you abused? How do you know? Because you're not in your body. Rubbing your head. Like a mosquito, you want to swat the mosquitoes. They come down. So come down into your body. It hurts. I hurt. Well, feel it. That's for elk medicine. Bear's good for your heart. Bear Creek's where my place is. Frankie out there. Such a beautiful place. The animals love it out there. To have community, to have the elders and the children be able to come together. That's the native way. It's a tribal way. We have to remember what brought us here. And that's not artificial intelligence or wildlife management. Those are all oxymorons. Military intelligence. So it's remembering nature is spirit's tranquilizer, and going out and listening to the creek is a sacred experience. Like all these rich people, they put fountains in their backyard. Well, I have a whole creek in my backyard and got 2 10-acre parcels out there, and I wanted to retire, build me a place out there, bed and breakfast. I can bring some people in and teach them how to make a drum, rattle, flutes. Not only make them, but do some drumming circles, talking circles. We pass the talking stick like communication is I speak, you listen. Yin is the listening. Yang is the speaking. The children are gullible. Especially the babies, they have no teeth, so they drink everything, and then they start getting teeth, and then they go through all these. The first 7 years of a child's life is where they learn they're either hooked up to their destiny, or they're walking in the wounds of the mother or the father, or both and. So that's a great question to ask a potential partner. Tell me about your dad. Tell me about your mom. I ask Ashley those questions. So, but it's just like I hate in you the qualities I hate in myself. And when I deny that I'm just, I can be a real asshole, and I can be selfish and self-centered. But that's why we have steps 10 and 11 and 12 of recovery, which is continue to take a personal inventory. And so I go within to find out what the fuck am I still holding on to that's not serving me anymore. So learning to listen more and listen to, both you women are pretty wise. Like, I want to send Ashley more than, but I have a tendency to feed from the fire hose. So, some people love it, they just take it in and savor it. So how do you eat? What do you eat? And what's eating you? Like this morning I got up and cooked, peeled an apple, and I cut that apple up, and I got some yogurt. I took good care of myself. I started with thanking the spirits for this day. I'm still alive at 84. Not only alive, but working. And I'm the shipping manager, I'm the quality control guy, I'm the janitor, I'm the marketing guy, and I'm the elder that teaches. And I can wear any of those hats, but I only wear one hat. Say, this is my work hat, and this is my play hat, and this is my at-home hat. And so the whole process of walking around that wheel, it's like when I started drum, I started in the South. That's what do I want to bring manifest in my life? So, and what's it going to take? I used to do play shops. First question I would ask people is, Ashley, what do you want to create for yourself as a result of taking these classes?
Big question. You're actually asking me. The conditions where I can let go and play. That is what I would like to create in my life.
You want to create conditions.
I suppose those conditions are here.
What are you creating?
Space to have time to play.
Okay. So if I ask you, what is it going to take to create that which you say you want? You would say space. So if there's no room for something new to come in, if it's all filled, that's called this fist. Nothing can enter a closed fist. If the heart does this. It gives and it receives.
Okay, how about the conditions within myself that I am able to let go more and play? I have made time and space, and I'm waiting for myself to rise into that mind.
She's already there.
She is.
You keep me waiting till it's getting aggravating. You're a slow poke.
It's true.
So, what is that, Pointer Sisters? I want a man with some slow hands. I want a man with an easy touch. I want a man that will take some time, not come and go in a heated rush. So that's patience. That's the heart. The heart knows patience. But when I was a kid, I was in military school and I loved Broadway musicals, and so I would buy jazz. I was always attracted to music. I was in the choir. I loved to sing. But I was always following my brother because he was my hero. He was the warrior and I was the lover. So I still love him so much. He can remember everything in our past, but he can't remember anything in the present. So he's kind of getting ready to go to the spirit world. So, which I never grieve when people die. My God, we ought to grieve when they're born. that's oh my God, they got to go through this stuff. So when we become childlike, when you're my age, you lose your teeth. My anger was in my jaw, so I just would grind my teeth at night because all my anger was. And I was told to hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. And I was always rushed. And so I love the space to have what Ashley's talking about. Can Ashley come out and play?
Yes.
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 You ask people, do you have time? Are you making time? Where's time? Time's the illusion. There's nowhere to get to. What's that great song, Pachamama? Pachamama, I'm coming home to the place where I belong. There's no highs. I want to be high, so high, like the eagle in the sky. I want to fly free. I feel free, so free, like the dolphin in the sea. And when my time has come, I'm going to lay down and die. And when my time has come, I'm going to rise up and fly. So that's the resurrection of the East. So we're going tomorrow is the solstice. It's the spring equinox. So we're entering the Fool, see. The Fool is the one that takes the leap. Don't be afraid to be a fool. So Rumi says, break my heart, break it again, so that I might love deeper and stronger. So has your pain broken you down or closed your heart or opened it? It's the open-hearted is open to receive. That's seeking creates the barrier. So patience, just so I would ask people, what do you want to create for yourself? What is it going to take? So she answered that. And then at the end of the class, I'd say, did you create what you said you wanted? That's the completion. Like I made those 2 drums, an 8-sided elk. Boy, that's a great voice. Mystery is there's certain things I can change and there's certain things I can't change. But since I've made thousands of drums, I know something about how tight it pulls, depending on where that drum's going. If somebody's from New Mexico wants to buy a drum, I don't wrap it near as tight as I do somebody from Louisiana or down on the coast or in Hawaii. Over there they make shark skin drums. Oh, shark skin. fish head drum. And the drum and the whale are intimately connected.
Mm.
Whales, they asked me to come over and drum at a wedding in Maui, and the wedding was out on the point overlooking the ocean. I had 5, 6 people, drummers with me, and we all brought our drum and started drumming for the ceremony, and all these whales started coming out of the ocean. These vibrations are like the whales' calls in the ocean. The water carries that vibration. So being a water sign, you learn, like, that resonates with me, that term, that resonates. That sounds true. So there's, your senses are, I smell you, I taste you, I touch you, I feel you. It's like drawing out the beauty. It's called educing, drawing out the beauty of the child. That's Marie Montessori. She would say, follow the interests of the child. So Frankie's interested in dinosaurs. So, because his mom took him to Amsi and showed him the dinosaurs. So, when I was a kid, I had a choo-choo train. My brother actually got it, and I wanted to play with it because one of those that has all the little thing that goes around and all these assortments you can buy for an electric train. And we'd have chemistry sets. Anyway, I've been thinking about the weekend. Like usually we do a sweat lodge on the nearest Saturday to the solstice, which would be this Saturday out at Bear Creek. But I would rather, like the best men's retreat I ever had was 80 men up at Indian Heaven when I was going to this New Thought church. And I was one of the leaders of the men's ministry. And all the guys wanted to go out and build sweat lodges so we could do sweats. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. Well, let's just let them build the sweat lodges and not try to do it all for them. Let's all, if you're a part of helping create it, you're much more committed than if you're saying, oh, Patrick's doing a lodge. I go out and do the lodge, but I got to get back. So we don't create that space for the sacred. And, so I'm real happy doing a ceremony here because we don't, I'd have to get the fire started out there. Nobody's out there. But it's gotten through the winter. We haven't had a break and got some of the purest water in the world. I've got a well out there I've drilled and had to go down 280 feet. And we had a witcher out there with knew where the water was. So that's that land was blessed by 4 women. One that was from Korea. No, from China. She was from China. Mandy was the African, the black. We had the red, white, black, and yellow, the 4 colors, the 4 goddesses that blessed that land. And the men, they see something, well, let's build it over there. There's a space. But the women says, why would you build it over there? You're ruining the view of. So women are more connected with place, or I would say the yin is more connected with place. Where's your place? Like I figure, I've got two 10-acre parcels. I'd like to put one in a trust called the Heartspace Foundation, and have a school out there for adults and children to teach the children to get off the computer so much and learn how to play, learn how to shoot an arrow or to play horseshoes or croquet. I've got all these games out there. I had the little ping pong table set up over there for Ashley. Because that's part of teaching the 11th step, which is we sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with spirit. Praying only for knowledge of His will for me and the power to carry that out. That's step 11. Well, that's step 11 and 12. This is we become hollow bones, and I see your beauty because I see my beauty. So highest in me honors the highest in you. I feel honored to have both of you all in the circle. I don't know where Bob Hall is. He's my buddy that's usually with us. He's another elder that joins these groups. But what I'm thinking is, we got about 7 more minutes, is maybe just have something Saturday here, and because going out there is an ordeal. But I'd love to have a little potluck, and maybe in the afternoon. Usually maybe we have a talking circle or a pass the talk and stick around. And so the gifts of these directions are, what do you want to call into your life, and what do you want to release that maybe is not serving you anymore? So there's 4 rounds that we go through on the sweat lodge. First we say, who do you want prayers for? So who in your family and friends needs prayers? And then the second round is we usually pass the eagle fan around, and we say, we call in, give you a chance to express yourself. Pass the stick and speak from your heart, not your head. So the heart's ear. Listen with your heart's ear and speak from your heart. So remember that if you're in a sweat lodge, or wherever you are, it doesn't make any difference. It's a sweat lodge, or it's a sauna, the Swedish sauna, or the steam house. All cultures have those ceremonies called alchemy, where you burn away the beliefs that we pick up when we're not going back into the lodge. So the Lakotas do a beautiful job. They have an east door, and that they pray to the east because the light comes from the east. But out at Bear Creek, we have 4 doors. So we're right between the north and the east, and now we're going to be from the east to the south. And there will be a gap before the next series of classes for the gifts of the south. And the gifts of the south are very beautiful also. But coming to these classes, you learn just by repetition, hearing it over and over again. Kind of comes into your body, and starts to resonate. And last week we were talking about the 5 levels. How do you learn? You learn by reading it or hearing it, or reading it and hearing it, or seeing it. So, but the final learning is teaching it. So a lot of people start teaching before they heal themselves. It's like physician, heal thyself first, and get rid of your fear of death, because that's actually fear of life. So you're it's healing that little one inside, and that takes safe space. And that's what my goal is, to make this place safe. First for me. So pretty careful about being the warrior when I need to be, because the warrior knows how to draw the sword. It doesn't mean I'm walking around cutting heads off, but it means wait, stop, it's far enough. So somebody's coming in your space and you say it's far enough. When I was a clown, I learned that, because when they stop breathing, that's when that's far enough. We used to have people paired up, and then they start walking towards each other until they touch. And notice when they stop breathing. And that's where you stop and give them space. Like Frankie, those children are sacred. They're wakan. So we don't just invade their space. If you watch them play, they don't just run in and hug people. They got the space. They warm up, and then they come in and play wholeheartedly. It's just like taking the time to discern, who are you, where are you going, and who are you going with. So, and listen. And no is a complete sentence. If you say no and you start justifying or explaining why, you've just betrayed yourself. Part of no thank you. When you're first learning no, it might come out explosive. But once you practice it, you can say no thank you. Need more money? No thanks, I got enough. How much is enough? I got enough for today. I got enough food. So it's about time to end this, but does that sound okay, Ashley, if we did something Saturday?
Yeah.
Maybe had a little potluck and everybody brought something. I fixed some deviled eggs today.
I would love to come. I'm doing Sweat Lodge with my family over at Hummingbird Hill on Saturday.
Well, that's where you're supposed to be. But it'll be, the way I see it is, I say the group together creates the ceremony, not one person goes out and does it all. That's the way it's been in the past. We've had one person gone out there and gotten everything ready for the lodge. And I say, no, I think co-creating it together is the only way to go. So
Beautiful.
wherever you're praying, that's fine, but take us in there with you if you're one to that lodge, but you're sort of invited. All you can do is invite Casey and Frankie and Ashley. I know a 3-year-old has to, they're a handful, I'll tell you.
Yes.
Such joy, and I'm all for this woman creating space to raise her kids, her child. That's beautiful. I want to support that because she's got a lot of talent. And Is it 8 o'clock yet?
Yes.
It's 8:01.
Mm,
I talked the whole damn time. Well,
thank you.
I appreciate hearing from both of you all and picking up new. It's like if we're two or more or show up, that's where spirit is.
Hmm.
That's why they say if one person believes it, they're crazy. If two people believe it, it's a religion. Oh,
Mm.
It was nice to meet you, Raven. I hope we get to share space again in the future.
Oh, it was an honor. Thank you, Ashley. I hope so too. Thank you for sharing
come
your
out.
beautiful energy. And I look forward, yeah, can I get on some sort of like email list now so I can connect with you in the future?
I want to put some drum workshop dates, rattle making, drum making, co-creating a big grandmother drum together. That's to have some
Mm.
workshops where
Seems like Facebook is the best place for the updates. Yeah, Patrick?
I have no idea. Not my.
Well, if you're on Facebook, I'll make sure he posts it to there.
I am.
Okay.
Well, I'm on Facebook because a lot of the elders are, and but there's Instagram. I don't know about that.
Instagram.
What I've learned is more is not better. So I'm real happy with a small group because it's like when my uncle died, he says, if you can count your friends on one hand, you're rich. And your friends are the people that don't betray you. They know who you are. So I'm grateful to have a few friends and some potentially new ones.
Mhm.
So you all can shine your light too, and we can co-create something, get into some trouble together.
I like the sound of that.
But actually, it'll help me put y'all on our website, put some dates down rather than procrastination, which is what I've been doing. So,
Okay.
okay.
Beautiful. Okay, well, I'll
Just
look
be
for
quick.
you on Facebook. Are you just under your first and last name? I should be